Global wine production disaster. Welcome to Mark and Pete. Here's a thought.
Chateau Dribble. Wine connoisseurs should have impeccable taste, but there are some you may want to throttle when they wet their whistle with wanton waste and spit it all back in the bottle.
Yeah.
Yes. Why could that be? Well, wine connoisseurs are crying in their drink. Why is that? Well, the International Organization of Vine and Wine, the OIV, says that production around the world is likely to reduce by 7%. And that is lower than last year. But more importantly, the yield will be the worst since 1961. Now, the reason for this, of course, is blamed on the weather. In some hemispheres, it's too cold, in some, it's too warm, and many others. Clergyman Pete, I must ask you, as a clergyman, surely this is where Jesus needs to turn the water into wine.
Yes, yeah. Well, where's a good miracle when you need it? Yeah, I mean, wine, it's interesting, has been an important part of the Christian faith since its inception. I mean, the masterstroke of Jesus using the Passover meal where they drank wine to represent the giving of blood and then breaking of bread to represent the breaking of his body, thus not necessitating any actual animal or human sacrifice in order to worship. Brilliant move. Bread and wine, that's all you need. And wine is often red like blood, so it's even better symbolism. But it goes further than that. Wine during the time of Jesus in that area, in the culture in which he lived, was seen as being healthy. It's a bit of a health food, really. The Apostle Paul, writing to Timothy, another church leader at the time, said, "Stop drinking only water and use a little wine instead because of your stomach and your frequent illnesses." That's 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 23 for bibliophiles who want to look it up. But yeah, that's Christianity speaking very positively about wine in a little wine. You see, it said in that in the translation of that verse. I think that is the idea: a little bit of wine, not just water. You need wine. So without wine, where is Christianity? I think we're sunk.
Well, indeed.
What are we going to do?
Well, from a commercial perspective, here we go. Yes, the wine production was down in almost every country in the European Union, which produces over 60% of the world's total. Now, here's an example. Yields were down 14% in Spain, 12% in Italy, and this was because of the dry weather, which reduced the harvest crops. But it doesn't end there, because producers were also shocked at the weather and how it impacted production in places like Chile. Now, they had, in the southern hemisphere, their production fell by 20%. And this was because of droughts and wildfires. Now, it's got so serious that in August of this year, the French government announced that it would allocate some 200 million euros, to destroy surplus wine stocks as the industry struggled to adapt to falling demand. Well, Clergyman Pete, from a commercial perspective, we all know, and many people like a little bit of a wine with their meals. So restaurateurs are obviously going to be affected, as well as the general retailers. Now, I must admit that the idea of destroying some of these surplus stocks, you might want to sort of nip over to France and see if you can grab a few spare bottles before they all go.
But as you know, it will make commercial sense to do that because because you want to keep the production up, so
Absolutely.
You can keep the old supplies in. But yeah, it is to be serious for a moment. Christianity isn't going to fall on this issue, although wine is drunk as communion wine across the world. But it's a serious issue, isn't it? That this particular product is not going to be in supply, because it could be whole industries failing.
Yes. Well, it even shows, here's another extension to this. The poor global production is cited as bad for the industry overall. And the OIV notes that the falling global demand could mean the overall market remains relatively balanced, because effectively avoiding a drop in prices depending on what happens with certain producers. Now, one comment was made by someone from that particular authority, said, as economic growth in China has slowed since 2018, they have seen a consumption of imports of wine drop significantly. So it is affecting all the different markets around the world. It's not just one particular market, and it's not just necessarily blamed for the weather. The economy is the other side. We have seen, of course, some of the conflicts that we've seen in Ukraine and many others have also had impact on the supply chain. Now, of course, what we do need to know is that there's another side to this as well. At one time, there's another industry that we should sort of talk about, which is the publican industry. They've been hit very hard in recent times, as we've seen with the COVID lockdowns, etc. So enticing people to come to their pubs and clubs to drink wine is now a lot harder than it's ever been before. So this is another blow to that industry alone.
Yes, it is. It's one thing after another, isn't it? And you don't, with the supplies being limited, price goes up, and it's just not going to be good for the hospitality industry generally. Wine is such an important part of it. But I mean, I suppose you could start drinking beer if you're a real oik. But for most people, I think wine is it, isn't it?
Well, I suppose depends on your palate, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, it does. Yes.
I'm sure there are many ardent beer drinkers out there who are probably spitting
their disgusting frothy beverage out.
Spitting their hops all over you at this moment. But no, I mean, look, the bottom line here is that we're coming up to a very important season as well, because we're coming up to Christmas, and wine is certainly part of that meal. So when you're sort of munching through your turkey or whatever it is that you nibble, surely wine is one of those sort of forms of celebration, isn't it? You bring in the family, you bring in your friends and neighbours, etc. So not having that extra bottle of wine is it could affect the season as well. What are your thoughts on the gifts that might be given this Christmas?
Yes, well, I think that again, wine is a staple. I mean, sort of joking about it a little bit, but it is a staple. It's such an easy thing to give, a bottle of wine, especially to the awkward uncle. What do you give to him? Give him a bottle of wine. All his presents are bottle shaped. It's a standard thing to do. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. And this time of year is when they will notice it, because this is going to be the big time across the Western world for selling wine at Christmas time. So
exactly.
Yeah, it is difficult. Now, what's to be done about it?
Oh well, I have a suggestion.
I
have a perfect suggestion.
Well, thankfully,
drink folks, a lot more tea.
Thankfully, folks. So there's a
teetotaler.
Yes, give up on wine. Let the industry go fail, and there'll be less alcoholics, and it's all actually a good news story, right?
Well, I would love to hear what our listeners think about this as they're sort of spluttering over their last dregs of wine.
Yes, make sure that you tweet back to me on X. Just go to it's at with Peter Cooper if you want to find me there, and you may well be listening to the show there, or go to markandbeat.com. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment on this and every episode. But for Mark and myself for this week, it's goodbye, and we'll drink to that.